Have the Steelers fixed their issues?
No, the Steelers haven't fixed their issues. They took a step in the right direction by winning.
Right.
The offense scored a bunch of points in the first half. The defense pitched in. Fitz Magic turned into Fitzpatrick. They came out the second half and the offense didn't throw up another point, and the defense started giving them up. So, like I said, the win puts it in another.
It does.
But the win tends to hide things, and people don't see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is they did give up a bunch of points in the second half. They gave up a bunch of yards. If you look at it, Tampa actually scored more points than the Steelers did without, them getting the pick six. So it's no way is things fixed.
What's your take on the contention that the head coach has lost the locker room?
I don't feel like he's lost the locker room, so to say. I feel like he needs to assert himself a little more so that he gets a little more control back. He gets a little more, respect. He needs to be looked at as that authority figure and not as, that
homeboy,
the friend. Yeah.
No, they haven't fixed anything, Skip Bayless. The defense still isn't very good. They're 28th in pass defense. They've allowed 10 touchdown passes in 3 games, 9 in the last 2. They got 37 penalties on the season. They've averaged 12 penalties over their first 3 games. That'll get you beat. And James Conner is a great story. He's running hard. But he's not Le'Veon. They're 23rd in rushing, Skip.
That's true.
And last night, James Conner had a rush of 27 yards and 17. But his other 13 carries, he had 17 yards. Ben keeps saying noise outside. Skip, can you ask me this? You and I don't block for Le'Veon. We never talked about Le'Veon's money. We never said that, hey, we're the reason that Le'Veon is having success. Hold on. I get paid. I get PTO. I get paid time off. Antonio Brown doesn't get paid time off during the season. He's the one that didn't show up to work on a Monday. But that's our fault. Ben, y'all need to miss me with this foolishness. You have issues. I get it. And you made these issues public. How did we know it got out? Oh, Coach knew I had something going on. I've never heard, James, maybe you have. If I tell the coach that I did have an issue I need to have resolved, he's not going to find me. He's not going to discipline me if I tell him beforehand. Now, if I just don't show up and then tell him later, he's like, well, you could have told me this, but I got to discipline you. And y'all need to miss me with that, Ben. You have issues. Now, whether you want to admit it or not, but there's a lot more going on, and that's not auxiliary noise. That boom box is in your locker room. Y'all need to address that. Don't worry about what we're talking about. Stop giving us a feed to talk about, and we'll stop talking about you.
So I agree with what both of you just said, and then some, because last night was as misleading a result as I have ever seen. Because as you call him Pick Patrick. He threw it to you 3 times in the second quarter.
Consecutively.
And one of them you took to the house. Right. So you got a pick 6, you got 3 interceptions, and they fumbled it to you all in the second quarter. And you won the second quarter thanks to that, 24-3. Here, and here. Right. Then in the second half, as you point out, you don't score a point with that offense against a secondary that was without Chris Conte, and we're going to talk about the stiff arm play here in a little bit, but that eliminated Chris Conte, who's an 8-year veteran, and he's the wise old owl in the secondary at safety, who's been around and can kind of keep it together and quarterback the secondary. And all of a sudden you wind up with 3 rookies and a second-year guy that Ben's thrown against in the secondary. And you can't score in the second half? Something's wrong. And Antonio, not a happy camper, I'm guessing right now, because he did not catch a football in the second half. And you know how he gets when that happens, right? Again, the only good thing was they won.
They won.
Right. Yeah. Okay, they survived more than they won. And I got to give Ben credit because he made one Ben-esque play at the end of the game to ice it, where it's ill-advised. It's just what he does. If we could see it one more time, because it was the play of the game to me, that Ben escapes, and then he's running to his right and throws way across his body, like throws it sideways to Juju. This is the play of the game. This ices it. Look how. Tell me, is that not ill-advised to kind of throw backwards?
No.
You know, like
Hey,
into
it's ill-advised as
But
far
it's-
as what
but
you
how
want
many
to teach
times
your
have you seen
quarterbacks,
that?
but
Yeah.
you see Ben do it all the time.
that's
You know,
what he
that's
does,
what he does.
okay?
He extends the plays.
So
and
he makes
great
one
throws.
play that won that game, saved that game.
And remember, Skip, Fitzpatrick turned the ball over. They're going in to get points.
Right.
They're like on the 8. They're like on the 10 or 11 yard line.
He did.
And he threw a pick. So they're going to, at worst case scenario, they're going to get a field goal. Well, we think they're going to get a field goal. There's nothing automatic anymore with these field goal kickers. But I'm saying he turned it over in plus territory.
Yeah, right now, like you said, they +3 on the turnovers, and you end up winning the game by 3 points. That's really, like you said, misleading. If you look at the whole scheme of it, I could see if it was no turnovers, it was a dogfight, and you come out with a 3-point win, that would be something great. But when you put everything together and you look at the big picture, it's very misleading.
You gave up 400 yards passing to Fitzpatrick.
400?
411.
And he turned the ball over on 3 consecutive occasions. So just imagine if he doesn't. Let's just say he gets doesn't turn it over in consecutive possessions. He might have 500.
And I got to tell you, Chris Godwin, and I like him. You learn.
He
dropped 2.
Yeah.
He hit him in the hands in the end zone twice, and he couldn't hold on to it.
Yes.
And then he was the one who caught one and fumbled it in the second quarter.
And I'm looking at the Steelers DBs, man. They cannot locate the ball.
It's getting a little bad. I think it's actually getting worse than it was when I was there. But that's something that you got to stick with the players you got and try and do the best that you can. They tried to switch out, Artie and put in Cody and try and fix it that way. That didn't. Seem
Well,
to
at
help.
first they got rid of Dick LeBeau. They thought it was Dick LeBeau's scheme. They thought that zone blitz, that thing was outdated.
No, that scheme is not outdated.
No, it's the player that's in that scheme.
You got to get the right players to run that scheme. You can't draft for a 4-3, but you're running a 3-4.
Right.
You can't do that and fit Dick LeBeau's scheme. There was nothing wrong with Dick LeBeau's scheme.
So how do you feel about Le'Veon? What's the play here? This is an organization that does not trade players like this, but all of a sudden it sounds like he's on the block.
A trade, I don't. Like, looking at it now, I don't really think a trade will happen. I don't think somebody else would take that because they can't give him a new contract, and that's what he wants.
Yeah.
So I think the play for Le'Veon, if I'm Le'Veon, is I'm coming back, November 13th?
Yeah, the 10th game.
And I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get my credit the season that I need to get, and I'm going to do the best I can to get out of that season healthy. And for me, I'd give you everything in practice. You would see, the cameras would see that I am fine, I am healthy. But come Saturday, something ain't right. I can't play on Sunday. Because if I go out here and I mess something up, I'm losing a lot of money.
He going to put that Earl Thomas on him
That
without telling
sounded
him.
just like what Earl said.
No question.
Yeah.
Right?
No
and that's
question.
the thing, Skip, because if you trade for him, under the franchise tag, you can't give him a deal.
You can't.
The only way he gets a
You
deal.
could give him more money this year if you wanted to try to make
Well,
him
you
happy.
would have to rescind the tag.
Yeah.
If you rescind the tag, now he's a free agent. Now you can give him money. Or just, look, Steelers, you know you wasn't going to get this man his money. Why y'all do that?
If I'm the Steelers, and I know this is not the way
Let
they
him
do
go.
business, I would just
Let him go.
take my 3rd round pick or whatever you
Yes,
can
yes,
get.
let him go.
And again, you're right. Is James Conner this guy? He is not.
Nope.
He's okay. He tries hard.
Yeah,
He's a good
great
kid.
story.
It is. I got all that. But he's not Le'Veon.
No.
But Le'Veon is going to be an ongoing thorn in your side because it's not healthy. This is not a healthy, happy
And like I said,
situation.
after the things that they said about him
Yeah.
and him having to step back into that
Hey,
locker room,
that's
it's
what you
going to
said.
be a lot of friction. Things said you can't just pull him back and take him away. Guys, you say, "Oh, he's making more money than me. Just stay out the whole season."
Right.
You can't just wash that away. When he gets back in there, it's going to be some friction. So instead of making more fuss than what it is, just let him go.
Let him go.
Let him go.